reader, and I hope you are doing well. We are going to be doing your July general reading, and the center of your reading, Aries, is that of the World card. I love this energy. Number one, it's a major arcana. The expectation here, Aries, is that a particular cycle is ending or one is beginning. Perhaps the cards will let us know what that is. But the good news is that something is about to change. Some of us are actually going to be traveling too, or we have the thought process of traveling. And really like going to a different part of the world in which you live in now. So maybe some of you are thinking about coming to the States. And if you live in the States, maybe some of you are thinking about going overseas. Now we're going to go off to your moon energy. We're going to go off to your moon energy. This is where our emotions are. This is where we resonate. And this is where we actually speak to spirit. And the first energy I get is 10 of Wands, along with the Magician energy, and he like flew out of my hands, the Magician energy, along with the Sun energy. And because this is in your moon energy, this is the conversations that you are having with spirit. And I feel like that you're looking for different streams of income. You're looking for different ways to show your passion and how to turn your passion into money. And with this Magician energy here, you're really manifesting it. You are thinking about it all the time. Like, how can I turn these things that I love into a career, into to where it can make money for me? And I see you're not just looking at one thing, you're looking at a few different things. I feel like that's been heavily on your mind. And with the Sun energy there, you really want it to be prosperous and profitable, and almost like the freeness that baby has on that horse. That's what you want to feel. You don't want another job to where you have to clock in and you work for someone else and you bring home a check, and yes, it sustains you, absolutely. It pays the bills, it feeds you and your family, but it doesn't resonate in your heart. It's not something that makes you feel free. And I feel like that's the conversation that you've been meditating on, that you've been having with spirit in your manifestation process, okay? Let's go on to your Sun energy and see what's going on there. Your Sun energy is your ego. This is where you show up into the world. This is where I see you, and this is where you are seen. And you have the 5 of Cups, along with the Knight of Cups, and the Star energy. And right away, what I feel is, because the way the cards are laid out, we have the Knight of Cups here, and then we have the Star card here. It's like that Knight is walking towards that star. Interestingly enough, any time that you want to find your way home, you look towards that North Star, right? You look towards that North Star. And in essence, what that idea gives you and feels like is hope, right? And that's what that Star energy is hope. And because we're already doing some manifestation in your moon energy, and for this to show up in your ego energy and your Sun energy, we're having conversations with spirit. You're coming in and out of spirit and in and out of where we live and breathe and drink and all that jazz. And you don't want to feel this anymore, that disappointment of, why isn't it working out for me? Why didn't it quite work out the way I expected or anticipated? I almost feel like that you are just coming from that small string of bad luck, let's just say. And I don't even want to call it bad luck. It's almost like things just didn't work out how you thought they should work out, right? It's like you almost saw the writing on the wall, but even by the time it happened, it still was a disappointment nonetheless, okay? Now, when I go to your immediate present, I get the Emperor energy. That also represents you, Aries, and that sits right next to that World energy that we had as your center card, along with the 10 of Cups. Now, with that being in your immediate present, I'm feeling like already that perhaps the reason that we are going on this trip, for some of us, we're going to see some family, right? That you haven't seen for a while, or perhaps we're just going back home from being overseas for too long. Perhaps even some of us were away from our families because we had to, right? Under the certain circumstances, current circumstances rather. Let's expand here. You're definitely having this huge shift, Aries. We have this tower with the tower with the moon energy that I expanded with that 10 of Wands. And that tower with that moon is this pivotal, very, very interesting. It's like this, something is about to change the direction of your entire life. I know that sounds like, Crystal, could that possibly be everyone? No, it's not going to be everyone. And really, sometimes it's not this big boom. Sometimes it's just a small crack that starts, or a small ripple that starts, that shifts you into a direction that if that didn't happen, you would not have gone that direction. And for some of you, it's just going to be a small crack. For some of you, it's just going to be a small ripple. But for some of you, it's going to be a big boom. And it is going to be unreal. That's this moon energy of, it's gonna feel so surreal. It's gonna feel like almost like you're in a dream, like, is this real life right now type of thing. And then when I expand on that sun energy, the most beautiful card in the deck, you have that of the Five of Swords, along with the Lover's energy. And what I feel, right? Because whatever this pivotal moment is, whatever this shift is, I feel like that it's gonna be so different from what you're used to seeing, living. Like, it's just gonna be this shift, right? Some of us, it's gonna be a new home. Some of us, it's gonna be a new financial way of living, whether it's because we have a bit more or because we have a bit less. You know, some of us are going to be living overseas, and we've lived in America most of our lives, or vice versa. You've lived overseas and now you're going to be living in America. Like, it feels that way. And it feels like that for some of us, that we have to, whatever it is you have to leave behind for this new shift, it's going to be bittersweet. And then when I expanded on that Magician card, I have the Ace of Cups, the Death energy, along with the Four of Wands. And because I have that Death energy along with the Tower and the Moon, the Lovers and the Sun, the Magician, like, you have all these major arcanas happening in Moon energy, I already felt off the bat that you have been deeply manifesting, and Spirit is like, I feel like they're in the spirit world with you with a sledgehammer, like making things happen and making things move. This Death energy with the Ace of Cups, and that death coupled with that Magician is also telling me about that big pivot, right? That is going to shift you into a different direction totally. And it's shifting you in a good way. We're getting more stability. We're getting more love, and this opportunity to start anew and having everything you need to do it. This had to occur. It's that shift. This had to be let go of. And I feel like for some of you, it's a whole life that you're leaving behind. And because it was your life, right? That's what makes it like bittersweet. And that's the energy I get from here, is that bittersweet of, it's not like it was anyone else's life. It was my life, right? Whether good or bad. for me to leave it, it's you know, tastes different. Okay, so now let's expand on your present. Wow, that energy that I'm getting from your moon energy, Aries, it's like I see you sitting there in complete silence. And I feel like that you're not a silent individual, but you're sitting there in complete silence, trying to absorb the reality of what's really happening. You didn't come to play, huh, Aries? You did not come to play. I expanded on that that 5 of Cups. And we have the Wheel of Fortune along with the 4 of Pentacles. So with this Wheel of Fortune coming off of that 5 of Cups, because we have all of this intense, and I don't want to say intense, it's really just this movement that is happening in spirit, and for the Wheel of Fortune to show up in your sun energy, and your sun energy is your ego, right? So this is where you are seeing and where you're going to see it. And because I have the Wheel of Fortune here for you, which is another major arcana, we can expect that that tide of fortune is coming up in your direction. And for some of us, it is going to be finances. And I feel like whatever it is that we're holding on to, I feel like that you're going to get that security that you've been wanting, that you haven't had. And for a lot of you, I feel like you've had it once and then you lost this particular type of security. And then now you're going to get it back. Now, I expand on that star energy, and I have the 7 of Cups along with the 3 of Swords. Yeah. With this together, with this star energy, and I'm glad it was there, because this softens this. Basically, this is your past, your past of some things work out great, some things weren't so great, and it left you just disappointed and brokenhearted. Some people disappointed you and let you down, and sometimes you let yourself down even, because you felt like that you fell for it. You know, you fell for that glittery box. You fell for that sweet talk. You fell for that relationship. You thought that you thought you had it all figured out, and then come to find out you really didn't. And it was devastating to you. And I love that she's here to renew that hope, to almost like baptize you in that spiritual alchemist water of this new start. And it's not even a new, it's just a shift. This apparently pivot is my word of the month. But I feel like a lot of us are in that energy to where we're shifting, to where it's not like this huge change necessarily. It's not unfamiliar. What am I trying to say? Because it is unfamiliar, because it's so new, because you've never lived this before. But you're in the same spot, it's just a different view. That's better. Now, when I expanded on that Knight of Cups, we have the King of Cups, along with the Empress and the 2 of Wands. Man, this is some juicy, juicy energy. So with the Empress and the King of Cups, so obviously, I feel like that we are being led by our hearts. Okay, we're being led by this new birth of energy, this new birth of an opportunity, this new birth of this new sight, this new view that you have, because you're obviously going in a different direction. And when the 2 of Wands shows up, that means your steps are being guided in the right direction. And with that coupled up with the King of Cups, who's already on his journey, this is beautiful. And with it showing up in your sun energy, Aries, I love this for you. I love this for you. Okay, let's expand on your immediate present, right? because we definitely see some, yeah. Wowzers. So when I expanded on the Emperor, we have the Six of Cups along with the Two of Pentacles. And because I have it there with the Emperor, and I already felt like that some of us are going to be traveling to see some family and maybe some old friends, old relationships, that Two of Pentacles is you pretty much just going through the process, you know, weighing out the pros and cons of traveling right now, of, you know, finances, how much is it going to cost you, how long are you going to stay. I feel like you're just kind of weighing all the pros and cons to make this happen. And really, that was just a mention for confirmation. I feel like that was a confirmation type of energy right there. And then when I expanded on that Ten of Cups, we have the Ten of Cups. I have the Six of Pentacles along with the Temperance energy. And really weren't we just talking about the alchemist water with the Star card? That's what the Temperance represent. You see that star in the middle of her chest, that is alchemy, and she's creating it. And you see that path here that's being lit for you. This is in your immediate present. I really do see this path back to your family and back to those tangible things that you felt insecure about: home, health, job, family, right? I feel like all of that's going to start smoothing out for you. And then when I expand on that World card, we have the Seven of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Judgment to end the reading. And the reason this feels just feels like a warm blanket is I feel like all those injustices and perhaps those lies or you know, those times where you felt like something was taken from you, you know, something was taken from you, stolen from you, whether it was a relationship, a job, money, things. I feel like that those things are going to be returned to you in some way, shape, or form. Because you see how everything is growing around her. The entire card is growth. It's spring. It's new. It's developing. It's also an opportunity, Aries. And with the Judgment rounding out the entire reading, your reading started with a major arcana and it ended with a major arcana, and we're talking about the world and justice. It's like, it's about doggone time things start working out for you. It's about doggone time that the tides start working in your favor, and that's the direction that I see you going, not only for July, but August, beginning of September. I feel like you'll really start feeling this energy. Listen, that is all that I have for you, Aries. I hope it resonated with you. Now we're going to pick your angel card for July. And my love, you have vision. Oh gosh, I love that for you. You have vision. And I feel like that if you envision this path, then those things that are happening in spirit world, that tower, the magician, along with there was another card in that moon energy, because this pivot, this new direction is putting you in a new light, make sure that your vision is crystal clear and focused, which, come on, I just described an Aries. So I hope you have a wonderful July.